Welcome to AAU TV. This is AAU Talks. I welcome you to this show this afternoon where I'm hosting two guests. They are participants to the Research Communication and Research Commercialization workshop that we are running at the Association of African Universities this week. I welcome the two of you to the show.
Thank you.
My name is Nodumo Dhlamini and I will be your host. I would like to welcome Miss Sauda Belko-Sulemanah, who is the head of University Relations at the University for Development Studies here in Ghana. You are most welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to welcome you, Dr. Emmanuel Oluwadare Balogun,
Yes.
senior lecturer from the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, all the way from Nigeria.
Thank you.
You are most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The purpose of the show today is to just get some feedback from you concerning how the workshop is going and whether it's meeting your expectations. So I'll start with you, Dr. Emmanuel Oluwadare Balogun. How was your trip to Ghana?
Oh, my trip to Ghana was very fine.
Okay.
And I've been enjoying Ghana.
Yes.
Yesterday I ate one of the delicacies.
Which one is that?
And that is benku.
Banku.
Yes.
Wow.
And the tilapia fish.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Oh, that is really great. So, do you have banku also in Nigeria?
We don't have benku in Nigeria. I think the something closer to that is maybe it's eba that we have, but
Okay.
it's benku is really delicious.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe I'll
Okay.
go with some back
Yes,
home.
yes. Okay. Thank you very much. So, I would like to know how the first day has been. What have been the main points that you are taking away from the workshop?
Yes, I will start again by thanking you for being the organizer and for having us from the Nigerian delegate, 4 of us from my university. And I will say it's really been really educating. It's a wonderful series of talks from which we have learned a lot. I mean, we have learned tremendously. As scientists, we used to think that just conducting research, publishing high quality papers is all about research. But the communication part of it is also very important, as we know. But in this workshop, we are able to, we know now that how to communicate to the larger audience is also very important, not just the scientific community or the people in academia, but also even the people whose problem we are solving.
Yes.
So that is a big take-home message for us today.
Oh, that is great. Can you briefly tell us what kind of research you are involved in?
Okay, thank you very much. I am, as you rightly mentioned, I am a faculty in the Department of Biochemistry, so my background is biochemistry. And then using that knowledge, as I progress as a scientist, I'm using that to solve problems that are peculiar to Africa. And I would have been able to do this on my own, so that means I have a big platform, which is my department and my university.
Yes.
So maybe I'll start by talking a little bit about my university. My university is called Ahmadu Bello University. Zaria is located in a city called Zaria in the northern part of the country. And Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, as we know, is the largest university in West Africa, and I think the second largest in Africa.
Really?
Yes, this university has impacted in the country and even on the continent, majorly in terms of capacity building. I would say, I think from records that we have available to us, that the university really have been able to contribute massively in terms of manpower in Africa and of course in Nigeria, when we narrow down. So on the program for which I'm conducting my research, right now I'm sponsored here by what we call the African Center of Excellence for Neglected Tropical Medicine and Forensic Biotechnology. This is a program that is funded by the World Bank. So our department was lucky. We were one of the institutions, selected to establish a center of excellence in Nigeria recently. So, and our focus is to be able to tackle those diseases that are peculiar to Africa. Yes, for which other developing countries, other developed countries are not really interested
have no
in.
experience
Yeah, exactly.
in maybe.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
that is exciting.
thank you.
Yes, very, very exciting. I'll come back to you on to speak further about that. Welcome again, Miss Sauda Belko-Sulemanah.
Thank you.
Yes, I know that you are the head of university relations at the University for Development Studies here in Ghana. I'm interested to know why you were interested in attending this workshop on research, communication, and commercialization.
Thank you.
Mm.
I mean, my office already suggests that this is something that is of importance to me and to the university.
Yes.
In fact, today being the first day has shown me, it has reinvented my relevance in terms of research and its communication.
Yeah.
Because most times you get stuck in what you're doing and you just feel that, oh, the researchers know how to communicate their own stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't really delve so much into it.
Yeah.
But now it just reminds you that you still play a role, a very strategic role in communicating what it is that the research findings are. So, and also what really caught my attention was the commercialization of it. That it's not only to send the message out there, this is what we have found, but also out of that, are we generating anything for our universities through that, which is an important aspect. And so yes, this is why I really wanted to be part of this.
Yeah, I'm curious to know from your assessment, do you think the university public relations offices are structured to support researchers in their communication agenda?
Maybe it varies from university to university, but I think that on the whole, as I have already said, sometimes we just stick to the traditional roles that we play, that we, you relate with the media, you try to project the university. But this is also a very important aspect of, increasing the visibility of the university, which is also prime. And so I think that we haven't done too much in that aspect. And now this is just, making us aware of the role that we need to play when it comes to communicating our research findings. In the case of UDS, as you may know, UDS is a multi-campus university, and so communication, the importance of how to communicate cannot be overemphasized, and so it's a good thing that I have had the opportunity to attend this, and then to see how you play that middle role between your researchers and the outside world, be it the media, be it social media, how to project the university. I think that is the major role that I play.
Is the University for Development Studies a center of excellence also? I'm just following up from what Dr. Emmanuel Oluwadare talked about. Is it also an Africa center of excellence? Or?
No, no. But we have it is something we're just in talks, and we're going to have a center of excellence for the university. We usually have our flagship lectures every year in April, which is the Africa Leadership Lectures. And I believe the lectures that we receive from these former heads of states of African countries come to deliver a 3-day lecture at the university. And these are equally information stuff that we can put out there. Students can use this for their project work and so on and so forth. And so these are things that we should be able to project, rather than they deliver the lectures, we just keep them, and the following year you're looking for someone else. What do we do with them? How do we use them to the benefit of the university? So yes.
Yeah, sure, great. Back to you, Dr. Oluwadare Balogun. I'm interested in finding out more about the Africa Center of Excellence. How long has the university been hosting it, and how is the project going on?
Yes, we have been hosting the African Center of Excellence for the past 3 to 4 years in Nigeria, and so far, based on assessments from, because for every project there is M&E, the monitoring and evaluation that is done periodically by the World Bank.
Yeah.
They have been giving us pass mark per year, and I think we are happy that very recently, actually our funding was increased.
Oh,
yes, we had some more funds, about over $1 million, taken from some non-performing centers and added to us.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm sure this is based on performance, and really we have been faring very well, because based on the mandate, our mandate is to study those diseases that are peculiar, I mean, that disproportionately affect the Africans, and see how we can solve our problems by ourselves.
Okay.
Because some of these diseases really, they are not of so much interest any longer by the big farmers in the West or by the developing countries. So we got this funding, we wrote this proposal to say, okay, we developed this proposal to be able to solve our own problems. Okay. And one of the key mandates of the center or of our research is, one of the things is to find what is the prevailing situation in the continent, in the Africa, in the region entirely. So because if we do not have this data, we cannot plan properly. So and then after this planning, and this was what one of my professors, my professor mentioned earlier during the workshop, that doing epidemiological survey to know what is the situation. And after that, then we are trying to see how can we use our local resources, in terms of our bioresources, because Africa is blessed. We have so much bioresource in terms of, I mean, what I mean by bioresource means natural resources, like plants, like microorganisms that we can, investigate to be able to find useful solutions to these diseases. Such solutions may be in terms of drug candidates, and also we are also trying to see how we'll be able to develop vaccines against some of these diseases, like the African trypanosomiasis, onchocerciasis. These are diseases that affects the bottom 1 billion, as they mentioned, in the world. So that's what we are doing. And then importantly also is in terms of capacity building.
Can we take a break? We'll be back shortly. Viewers, we will be back with you after this break. Thank you.
You may not have heard about us, but we have heard about you. You've been searching for a new kind of university that matches your ambition. Our world-class education is renowned, but there is more to us. Meet the university in Ghana that is transforming Africa. One that is nurturing a new generation of ethical, entrepreneurial leaders. One that offers scholarships thanks to the Massacre Foundation, so that you can be part of our community of students who stand for integrity, discipline, and excellence. There is only one such university, only one, where 100% of graduates receive job offers or graduate school admissions. You may not have heard about us, but we have heard about you. You are Africa's future, and we are Ashesi University College. Together, we can begin to create a new Africa.
Two guests. Viewers, we are back to the show where I am hosting two guests. One is Miss Sauda Belko-Sulemanah, who is the head of university relations from the University for Development Studies here in Ghana. The second guest is Dr. Emmanuel Oluwadare Balogun, who is a senior lecturer in the Department of Biochemistry at the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Nigeria. and we've been discussing briefly about the research, communication and commercialization workshop that they are attending here at the Association of African Universities. Miss Sauda Belko-Sulemanah, I'll come back to you for the last round of the discussions. I think what is important, what can you share to the other heads of university relations, maybe that are listening to you, in terms of going forward? How do you see the offices actually supporting the researchers to communicate better?
Thank you. As I have mentioned previously, there couldn't have been a better time like now, and especially in the case of UDS, this year we are celebrating 25 years of existence, and so this is the time we want to tell the world, what have we been doing, what have we gained, what is the way forward. And so, like I said, it is very important for the communications office, be it you call it public affairs office or you call it university relations. I mean, this is when we should actually take the bull by the horn and to place our universities in a good place, you know, as individual universities, but also as African universities, to be able to compete with the wider world. And so my advice to my colleagues in the higher education, you know, communication, that this is part of our work. It's just as important to support the researchers to be able to send the message across. For policy makers, you know, and for the betterment of the communities, because if we are there and the communities don't benefit from the universities, then what is the point being there? And so, as I said, it is very important, and we actually play a strategic role to be between the researchers and the media.
And then in terms of support from the vice chancellors, what are you saying to a vice chancellor who might be watching you right now?
I think that if you haven't already asked or allowed your staff to attend this workshop, you should be thinking of doing so. It's been useful. I mean, this is my second workshop I've attended with AAU. And
I remember.
And with the first one is on social media. We are working on a policy for social media already, and you know, it's been useful. Today is day one for this one, and I can say it has been very useful. There have been a lot of insight into what is ahead, and you know, and how already even you as an individual, how to increase your own visibility, because it starts from there, you as an individual before you as an institution. So yes, it's been wonderful.
Thank you very much. Dr. Emmanuel Oluwadare, Balogun, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, and following up on the discussion before the break, I think I would be keen to know concerning your own visibility as a researcher. What were the takeaway points that you picked from today for the benefit of the other researchers who have not been able to attend the workshop?
Yes, the take-home message is to improve my visibility. During the workshop today, we learned that we can be more visible. Of course, in addition to the conventional publications and conference attendance, that we can be visible by, you know, registering at sites. For instance, the Google Scholar, as the professor mentioned, and ResearchGate, and OSID, and yes. So, for personally, I would say that I am already registered on Google Scholar, and I have a ResearchGate account. I am visible, and I have also been encouraging my colleague back in Zaria, in Nigeria, and my students to also, register at the research gate so that they can be visible. But, on going back home, I think we have decided with my professor and my colleagues that we should also organize like a faculty-wide or a university-wide, dissemination, like a step. Now we have come to learn, just four of us. So we'll go back and, tell our colleagues what we have learned and how the potential impacts of that in making the university more visible. And in addition to this, we have also decided to recommend to the Vice Chancellor that next year we hope this workshop will also be organized, and I'm sure more than 10 people will come, at least from the African Center of Excellence, because this is very important.
It is extremely.
So we are happy so far, and of course I know this is just the beginning, and there's an adage in our place that you can know what will happen tomorrow from today. So from what we have seen today, we know that we are here to be transformed.
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much. I think I'll give each of you the last word before we close the show. What are your concluding words, starting with you, Miss Sauda Belko-Sulemanah?
Thank you. Again, I can only reiterate that this workshop has been useful, even though it's been day one, but it's a sign of good things to come. I know that we're going to learn a lot, and I encourage everyone, especially us in higher education, to engage more, have these sorts of discussions, interactions. Then we can forge collaborations, and then we can learn from each other, and that is the only way that we would grow. And so I think even during our discussion today, it's come up, and I think AAU has been tasked
with a lot of things,
to improve these sorts of collaborations. So well done to AAU. More grease to your elbows.
Thank you.
Thank you to my fellow participants. I have learned so much from you today, and I hope that we're going to learn more, and that when we get back to our various institutions, we would spread the gospel. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Emmanuel.
Yes, just
your last word.
Yes, to add to Sauda's message, yes, we are indeed very grateful to be part of this workshop, and which has been really educating. And I promise that we won't just be hearers. We'll go back and act, to act, to be able to make, because the essence of education really is to see the light and spread the light. And spreading the light means making the world a better place, not just our continent. Of course, charity begins at home, our various corners, our countries, and then the continent and the world at large. So we cannot do this effectively if we just, get our results, publish them. We must disseminate the information. We must communicate effectively to the masses, to people who are not educated, people who are not in our research field, and also to be able to, one of the things I also learned is the need for this increased university or academia industry collaboration. So this is very important towards taking Africa to the next stage.
I would like to thank the two of you for coming to the studio on AAU TV. I've enjoyed your visit to the studio, and I've enjoyed also interacting with you. Viewers, we've come to the end of our show. This was AAU Talks, and I was hosting two participants who are participating in the Research, Communication and Commercialization Workshop, which began today at the AAU and is ending on Thursday. And we've had a very good conversation concerning the importance of this workshop. Please join us for the next edition of our programs. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.